Hello, welcome to another Jim Driver Writes video. This one's about writing faster and clearer. Let me give you a few tips after this introduction. Right, I used to be one of the slowest writers there are. I used to agonise over every word, but that's not the way I want to go, because if you're a professional writer in this day and age, you've got to get the words down onto paper, make it clear, don't procrastinate, don't agonise over every word, and get it done. Now, just to let you know, I've written a book called 1800 Words an Hour, which is slightly under my current writing speed. Let me tell you that my writing these days is a lot easier and clearer. Buy it on Amazon or other platforms, or you can get it totally free by joining my writers VIP group, and there's a link down in the description so you can join and get your free copy. So I'm not going to obviously go through everything that's in that book. It's not a very long book, but at the same time it's got a lot more information than I can provide you in these few minutes we have here. So how do we start? Many snobby authors, or many authors who don't write particularly fast, say, oh no, this is a terrible idea. We want to write slower, and every word is going to be beautiful, and we're going to describe everything, and we're going to go over it, and we're going to agonise it, which is not the way to write commercially. If you're writing to make a living, you've got to treat this like the pulp fiction writers of the 1930s and 40s and the 50s did, and get every word down, because they were paid by the word. They didn't agonise over every word, but what they wrote it clearly, and they wrote it so the reader could understand it, and without having to keep stopping and I think, oh, that was a beautiful phrase, or what did that mean? If your readers stopping all the time, they will soon get tired. So you want to make it clean, simple prose. So how do we do this? First of all, you've got to clear your desk. Make sure there's nothing in your office. You've got to find a place to write. I go through this in the book, and how you erase all of your distractions before you start writing. Tell people that you're not available, switch your phone off, don't go on the internet, don't have things around you that need to be done, because the mind, I'm afraid, the human mind is the writer's worst enemy. It will try and stop you writing. There's always something you should be doing right now. Watering the plants, feeding the children, whatever it is, get it done, get it out of your head. Make sure that your mind and your desk is totally clear, so for the next hour or so, for whatever time you want to write, you're clear. There's nothing standing in your way. Secondly, you've got to outline. If you're writing fast, you've got to know exactly what you're going to write before you write it. If you're writing non-fiction, you need to have your book planned out. You need to know exactly what the chapters are, what the topics are you want to discuss. You want to have every piece of research done, and then before you start to write. Similarly, if you're writing fiction, you have to plot each scene that you're going to write. We're going to write in writing sprints. The standard way to do it, which is the way that most other authors and people who write books like this will say that you should do, is a writing sprint, which is like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and you basically pick a time and you sit there and you start to write, and you just write. And that's the secret. You write, you don't stop to correct yourself, you don't think about it. So everything that you are writing has to be, you have to know what the name of the street is, what the name of the characters are, where they are, what's going to happen. You need to know everything. So you need to have it carefully outlined. I prefer to write in scenes. So I write scenes, so my books are generally like 1,000 words long. So I tend to write each sprint is not like for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I will write the whole scene. So I need to know before I start to write, as I say, who people are, what their names are, what they're going to do, what the streets are called, what everything's called, how people react, everything. So you need to get that planned at first. There are two ways to write faster. First way is to learn to type. I know that sounds daft. Most writers can't type. I can't type. I've speeded up a bit because I've got this 4-finger and 2-thumb thing where I do the space bar with my thumb and the keyboard, but you can learn how to type. There's lots of things online. If you do a search in Google or whatever you use, search for how to type or type in help or whatever, it will tell you, and you can practice that and you can speed up the way that you write. That's a good thing to do. I speeded up my writing, but I generally don't think that I can write much faster because my brain obviously is lagging slightly behind. So you don't want to be in the position where you're typing faster than you can think, because that's not good for a writer. And the other way is to dictate. Now, I personally have tried it. I've done it a few times. I find it a lot easier for non-fiction, frankly, than I do for fiction. But I find it very hard because I have a stutter, you might have noticed that, and I tend to get hung up on what I'm thinking, and I can't, well, I find it very hard to put what my brain says, make it come out of my mouth, as you might have noticed. It's not very hard, it's just like, I think that's probably why I stutter. I don't know. So, but you probably do not, so you will probably find it easier to try the dictation. So whatever you want to do, that's the way to speed it up. Learn to type or dictate. Let's say you've written it my way. You've spent however long it takes you to write 1,000 words or whatever your chapter length is or your scene length, and then the secret is when you are writing not to stop, not to think, not to go over, not to go back. If you can't think of a word, type XXX, whatever. Then when you've written it, you can either do this at the end of the day or straight afterwards. I tend to take a break, make a cup of tea, maybe go for a walk, maybe have lunch, whatever I want to do, and then I come back and maybe while I'm eating my tea, lunch, whatever, soup, drinking my soup or drinking my coffee, I will go through what I've done and I will just take out the typos and things like that and make it make sense. This is not an edit. You'll do the edit, I suggest, when you've written the whole book, because obviously then you will know where you've gone, whether it was a successful conclusion or whether you need to go back and change things. So once you've done it all, go back and edit at the end. So that's basically how I do it. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't make a huge amount of sense, because I do tend to ramble, I know I do, sorry about that, then by all means look at my book, join my Writers VIP group, but while you're at it, why not subscribe to this YouTube channel? Jim Driver Writes. Press the notification bell so you get updated, and if you like the video, please like it. If you didn't like it, then just don't do anything. But if you want to tell me what you think or whether it helped you or you think I'm talking a load of junk, then put it down in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you for my next video. Thank you for watching right to the end. See you next time. Bye.